Hello and welcome to My Mom's Basement presented by 3Chi and Barstool Sports. It is Robbie Fox and Clem here to recap episode 2 of Marvel's Moon Knight. I am at home, Clem is at HQ. This could have been an in-person episode, but the goddamn WrestleMania flu got me and Brandon Walker both of us the past couple days, not together. We've been separate the past couple days, but we've been texting each other, same symptoms, feeling real achy, feeling headaches all the time, big cough, COVID negative, thankfully. But yeah, I had to cancel a trip to LA and everything. It's my flu game, Clem.
uh, Bob Fox just staying at home. I'm in the office right now. What's going on here? This is we've switched bodies. This is like there's a Barstool Moon Knight going on right now. Bob Fox is home on the Zoom, and I am in the office right now, which I'm telling you is it's kind of a mind fuck right now. I don't even know
It
which screen to
is.
look at right now. I'm in the radio room, so anyone
I know, yeah, you're in like the famed Yak studio, you know?
Yes, the illustrious Yak with their 1 million subscribers. So we've switched bodies for the day. A Bob Clem body switch would be incredible. Bob, if you were to carry this body with you, I wish if anyone knows how to make body switches happen. Let's see Bob Fox a day in Clem, me a day in Bob Fox, and the octagon Bob. I could kill a man with my bare hands. It would be a very interesting body swap here, but it is kind of a fucking Freaky Friday going on right now.
That would be a great, maybe we need to do that as like a Halloween movie or something, like a Freaky Friday, like a Treehouse of Horror. Oh,
Yeah,
we should do a Barstool Treehouse of Horror with like a couple of short stories, and one can be a Freaky Friday between you and me.
yeah, and like you
Where
get
I come home and I see the kids, like that video of the kid smashing his head on the counter 100 times, and I'm like, what is this?
Bob goes to get up from bed and the gravity just weighs you back down and you like fall on the floor. And I'm looking at I'm like, I have tattoos.
What did you think of Moon Knight episode 2?
I think we're building something here. I feel good. I feel like we're in the right direction. Again, I cannot stress this enough to the listeners out there who may be a little lost. Jose Youngs has once again saved my life because I'm like, all right, I kind of have an idea what's going on right now. I feel like I have an idea where this is heading. And I know some people may not want to know anything about a TV show they're about to watch. It's a lot of stuff if you don't know what's going on right now. When
Yeah.
we see, people don't see the jackals and he's kicking the shit out of it. And I'm like, all right, I think I have an idea what's going on. So again, Professor Young's got me to a point where I felt pretty good about it. What about you, Bob?
I really liked it. I felt like this felt a little more MCU-ish than the
Yes.
first episode. It's still out there to where I'm like, I can't see this character, Stephen Grant or Mark Spector, like interacting with the Guardians or some of the other superheroes. It would be a jump. Maybe Kit Harington's character from the Eternals. That's like the one that comes to mind where I'm like, maybe he'll talk to him, the Black Knight or something. They're both knights, right? In that way. Still
Oh
out
shit.
there. It cleared some things up, and then it created some brand new mysteries where it's like, all right, I guess I know where this is going now, but yeah, now we're in other places. Khonshu's more in it. Khonshu's terrifying. Some of those scenes were straight up like horrifying.
All right. Our first disagreement of the podcast or of this pod and maybe of the Moon Knight series. I fucking love Khonshu. I love him. I think he's great. I think he's wonderful. Where he's like,
But the
kill
scene
him,
where in the
kill him.
storage unit,
Oh, the storage unit was a little scary. A little
that was
scary.
scary as fuck. Come on, you're showing that to Sienna?
Well, listen, Bob. Again, we have to go through this. I'm the one who's now the bad parent. You're the one who wants to show her all the child trafficking stuff in
I
Black
don't
Widow.
want, don't, no, no, I don't want to.
You begged
She
me to
just
show
saw,
her
she just happened to see Black Widow. Smells
on
like
your
Teen Spirit.
recommendation.
The intro, had me completely captivated. I was listening to this Smells Like Teen Spirit. I was like, oh my God, this is so cool. The Nirvana. And I didn't realize what I was looking at was, yeah, unfortunately, trafficking.
So should I are you telling me I should play Nirvana for my daughter now? My 7-year-old daughter, my little princess. I should have her listen to Nirvana's whole catalog.
Some,
There might be some questions
not
that
the
come
whole
out of
catalog,
that.
not the whole catalog.
Jesus.
Some songs, maybe.
All right, Bob. I'm gonna podfather you. I'm gonna say Bob Fox not ready for kids yet. So that
All
Freaky
right.
Friday we'll check out as you see because AJ will be the one smashing his head into the couch, throwing pasta everywhere.
He'll
But
get home and like AJ will have choked me out. I'll be on the floor, like choked out.
yeah, exactly.
Him and his new Taekwondo classes. All
Uh,
right. Do you want to get into this
yep.
episode?
Let's dive in. Let's dive in.
So to start, you hear like the fists and the pounding of Moon Knight beating on that jackal from last episode. You pick up kind of right where it left off, and then you see some sand at the foot of Stephen or Mark's bed. I'm gonna go back and forth. I'm gonna accidentally say Mark. I know it's
Throw
gonna be a whole
Scotty in
thing
there
to say.
too. Like fuck it. Like who cares? Like these names, they're not even names. It's Moon Knight and not Moon Knight, and the guy who is Moon Knight and yells at the other guy. That's kind of how I know
Yeah,
him.
so there's the sand at the bottom of his bed, like we said last week, all the eighth grade field trip tactics to find out if you're getting out of bed. And he tries to talk to Mark in the mirror for a little bit. I don't think he gets through to him. He goes back to work, and everything is completely in disarray from last night. He watches the CCTV tapes with the security guard, which when I was in London for UFC London, they said that all the time. CCTV. Oh, we got to
Yep.
get the CCTV. We got to get the CCTV. Always thought that was funny. And he looks like a maniac in all the security footage. Nobody's chasing him. There's no jackal. He's just running away from thin air. And later on, when he fights the jackal as Mr. Knight and then becomes Moon Knight, the jackal is invisible to other people as well. It's seen once she throws the glass of water on it. I think Layla throws a glass of water or something on it, and then you kind of see like the fur. There's a scene in The Boys, the first episode of The Boys, very reminiscent of that. There's like an invisible superhero that they get into a fight with, but very intriguing intro to the episode where we're like, okay, the jackal is not visible to other people. Does it even exist?
I got a little bit of Fight Club vibes when you see him kind of like just moving around there. It's like when Edward
Agreed.
Norton is just kicking his own ass. And they start off when he wakes up. The mirrors, you see three different mirrors, and I'm all about the mirror imagery now. I've my antenna has been raised on that, and I still like wasn't sure if he had remembered the Moon Knight stuff. And again, they say the Scotty, so then I'm like, wait, is his name Scotty or Steven? So there was a lot of confusion going on, and watching that sweet ass, like you said, the security camera, the CCTV, if you may, um, and I don't know, I that first scene led to like more questions than answers for me, and I do not need that right now with my brain.
No, it definitely did. So he gets fired for that, obviously. Like you can't keep your job. They make him hand in the name tag, and there's a great shot with that as well, where it's like the name he's giving it up, Steven, and he is kind of mandated or recommended to go to therapy. They give him a therapy
Yep.
packet. And Jose told us about that whole storyline where he has to go into the mental institution. There's the one shot from the trailer where he's in the all white and he's kind of like yelling. So I think he's going to go into that institution. He's going to go to therapy at some point. We'll see that. He goes and talks to the statue man, who we know is Crawley from the credits, another character that Jose told us about. He's one of Moon Knight's friends in the comics. I'm not sure if he's Mark or Steven's friend in the comic. He might be Steven's, being that Steven talks to him in the show. And then he goes to this storage facility that he found the keys to in his apartment. The guy recognizes him despite him being like, hey, this is going to sound crazy. He's like, no, no, no. You're in here all the time. Come on. You're in, unit 73 or whatever. Brings him up to this storage container that Mark has been living in. This is the scene that really gave me Fight
Yep.
Club vibes. I was like, when he's talking to Mark in the reflection, I was like, oh, this is like retracing Tyler Durden's steps, the plane tickets, all of that. And it's very army esque. He has the army cot bed. He finds a gun, a bunch of money, and this scarab. And the scarab starts floating. It's like it's not a compass because it's not pointing north or something. And Mark tells Steven all about what Khonshu is doing to him. First, he tells him, go to sleep, let me take over. He's like, no. And then he's like, I am the avatar of Khonshu. Khonshu brings justice to the world and resurrected us. And Steven has a great line where he's like, I eat one piece of steak and I go bonkers. I go mad.
That was
What's
great.
going on? And he runs out. This is where he sees Khonshu in the hallway. And I thought this was fucking terrifying, as I said. And then when he runs out into the street, he basically falls into Layla's lap.
And then she's like, "Oh, Steven, where have you been?" I'm just or Mark. I don't. She call him Mark. I'm like, "Oh God,
Yeah.
there's just way too much going on here right now." The I looked it up and it was Jake Lockley is the mime Crawley's. He serves as an informant to him along the way. So
Who we haven't met yet.
exactly. So whole bunch of shit going on here, Bob. A whole lot of like pieces being connected that we don't even know what they're going towards. He said he was number 43. I put that as a note. I don't think that ended up meaning anything. What was the scariest part if you were to go into a storage unit and you opened a bag and there was a fake passport, a gun, and a whole bunch of cash? Which part would you say, "Oh fuck"?
Oh, the gun. Easily. Come on.
No way, man. The cash. The gun, you can get guns. There's probably a lot of people who have guns on them at any different. We live in the United States of America, right? We know how easy, like, for people to have guns. If there's that cash is there, that's probably someone's cash. And that maybe it's no country for old men. As soon as I see cash, I like get the willies
But are
about
we
it.
saying it's our storage unit we're going
But we
into,
don't
or
know
just
whose it
a
is.
storage?
Yeah, yeah. We're just saying like you're like, all right, this is.
But if you find the fake passport with your face on it, I mean,
I'm saying if I see a fake passport with my face on it, a
yeah,
gun, I'm saying, all right, those are things that can be acquired through like, I mean, fake passport maybe not so much. I mean, fake
that's
IDs were
tough.
easy back in the day. Fake passport I have is two. Gun is like fuck. I could probably go. I might get a gun by the end of this episode. We'll follow me around on camera. I feel like it's not that
You could
hard.
definitely order one on Amazon Fresh or something.
Exactly. But the money, like the passport, is obviously like a problem because there's obviously a reason you're hiding your identity. But a bag of cash, man, straight cash, homie. And again,
And it's
Barstool
and it's from
blogger.
all different countries too. It's not just from one country. It's all different currencies, it looks like.
Yep,
That is super sketchy.
exactly. Sus, mad sus. I mean,
Yeah.
maybe we'll have to rank which of the versions are the most sus of him. But I personally thought it was cash. Also, Bob Fox, do you have a storage unit?
I do, yeah. I recently got a storage unit. I'm actually tomorrow, my entire day is going to consist of going back and forth to this storage unit. I swear to God.
I hate storage unit. I just hate having a storage unit and like you have to keep it in like some sort of an order. We had a storage unit when we moved up from Queens. We lived with my parents for a year just to save money before we got the house. So we just threw everything in there and it was like our entire lives, which wasn't a ton, but we were being married. We had gifts. We had our stuff from living in Queens and just so much shit in there. And I saw that storage unit and I got the willies. Like basically Conchu. That's what I felt like. Is like that scary Conchu scene was just me going to the storage unit. And I don't know, man. Storage units, like they freak me out. They really do. It's like what
Yeah.
I think storage units and like if you ever are like driving down a street in your like town and they're building something, 90% chance it's a storage unit or like retirement housing for 55 and older. Because I feel like
Or maybe a mattress firm.
yeah, or maybe mattress. One of those three things is almost definitely being built because I think the thing is, as America, as like I don't know if it's Americans or people in the world where like we have just so much bullshit that we can't fit into like our houses, and then we're living longer, and all these people like we don't know where to put them. So we have so much shit, and we have so much living people. I will say there was a purple guy that one time had a solution that could have taken care of all this extra stuff that we wouldn't have storage units and all this retirement housing taking up all these resources. That's all I'm going to say about it. That's all I'm going to say.
Hey, there's also a god out there that sounds like maybe he's not into the purple guy's methods,
Mm.
but also has, maybe a redeemable in some people's eyes
From a
route of going through it. Yeah, from a certain
from
point
a
of view.
certain point of
Exactly.
view, to quote another great franchise, another great Disney franchise right there. Um, the other thing, Conchu, I didn't realize he was so tall.
Yeah.
What is that line? Osama tall as hell. He should have been a hooper. Like that's what I felt like when I saw Conchu. I was like, this guy can fucking play like center for the Knicks right now. Throw him out on the court. Oh wait, they're
Yeah,
in
you
London
shouldn't be
though,
so
it doesn't really
angry.
work. Yeah, he shouldn't be so angry, man. Like that. Conchu has like little man energy to him, right? He needs to actually no. He has big guy energy. He's telling people to fuck. I don't know. I'm
Yeah,
just gonna,
I'm thinking of the scene where he says like break his windpipe. Like, is that big man energy or is that little man
that.
energy? Because he's like, I don't want you to know. Like,
Yeah, yeah.
he's
But
kind of scrambling.
it's. I feel like the little guy would try to break your windpipe. The big guy's telling someone else break his windpipe. I don't want to. I hate saying stuff like this in the podcast because I know it comes back to bite me. I fucking love Conchu. I love him. I fucking love Conchu. I love his vibe. Again, like the first time I saw him, the long beak or whatever kind of
Yeah,
freaked me
he's
out.
cool
Maybe it's
looking.
that I'm as dad, I'm kind of a bird guy. I like bird watching. We just put out Bob, we got new bird seed at the Casa de Clem. We're getting
Oh, I saw your tweet.
yeah, we're getting all sorts of songbirds coming up. We got cardinals, we got finches, we have blue jays. None of those are probably even songbirds. I don't know any of that stuff. I just love watching them. And then the hawks are flying by again. It's absolutely beautiful. So I'm a Conchu guy. I hope there's other Conchu people out there, but I'm a Conchu guy. I'm putting it out there, just like the Big T. I'm a Conchu guy.
And is Khonshu like a force ghost in a way where he cannot like physically involve himself. He can just give orders or appear and scare people, but he can't like bitch smack somebody if he wants.
Exactly. I think that he's kind of just like the dude online. He can't actually go out there and do
Yeah.
anything. So hence the avatar or whatever you want to call it. I love calling someone an avatar too. I thought that was such a
Yeah,
cool
that
little
that
name.
was a good line.
Yeah.
When it's not used in the James Cameron sense,
Yeah.
fuck James
Fuck James
Cameron,
Cameron.
suck it.
The
Speaking of
YouTube
funny,
the YouTube got some aggression on it. You did the suck and I gave the double birds like
yeah,
Stone
yeah.
Cold.
Speaking of funny storage unit stories, Pup Punk once booked, and we always book the most random last minute rehearsal studios because that's how shows come together. And I think Buddha Ben booked us one, and we showed up and we were like, this cannot be it. It looks like a storage unit facility. And that's exactly what it was. And we literally, they like wheeled up one of the doors for us. We went in and they closed it shut. And they were like, the light will go on when you got 30 minutes left. We were like, okay. And it was the coldest, tiniest little storage facility you could ever imagine. The sound was horrible, bouncing off metal
Oh
walls.
yeah.
It was an absolute disaster, but it
Shout out
makes me
Buddha
laugh.
Ben. That's a great story right there though.
Still
Like
books our rehearsal rooms, by the way. Buddha Ben's still kind of the pup punk manager.
from
If we
across the
want a
country.
rehearsal studio, yeah, if we want a rehearsal studio booked, we text Buddha Ben.
I mean, if that is not Barstool being Barstool, I don't know what is. That is the most Barstool being Barstool I've ever heard. He doesn't even work for
Yeah,
Barstool anymore,
no,
and he's in LA while you fucking idiots are here in New York. That's the best. I love
I
it. I
think he
love it.
enjoys still having a stake in pup punk.
Yes,
It
yes.
was one of his babies. He did the first few music videos.
Who? I mean, this is a quick left turn, but you know we're famous for that with this podcast. Like who was the first? What was the brainchild? Is there one person? Was it a conversation one night? I mean, I feel like I've known this in the past, but it's been so long now. It's been years.
It was me and Roan came to PFT and Smitty with the idea.
Okay.
And that came from Roan was sitting directly across from me. And I was listening to Blink 182 all day. And I think I was listening to it so loud that it was like going through my headphones. I was infamous for doing that. I think K Marco even wrote like a joke about that in the Barstool coffee table book. And I now realize I'm like, damn, that was kind of rude of me. But I think I was listening to Blink 182 super loud, and Ron was like, what is that? Like, what are you listening to all day? And I told him Blink 182, and he was like, oh, is that where Tom DeLonge sings like this? And I was like, oh, we should do something like that. We should do like a parody music video. And the idea was just to do one music video and then do behind the music breakup video, like a VH1. Yeah, we broke up because we got real into heroin and opiates. And, that's how all bands dissolve now, and do it super serious, like Spinal Tap almost. And then we were just like, no, let's just keep doing songs because it's more fun.
That's awesome. Great, good
Yeah.
fucking story, man. I'm happy. I don't think I knew that, so I'm happy I found. And then like the thing where
It's
Smitty,
actually like captured in Stool Scenes. There's an episode of Stool Scenes where you see it happen, and like us go to PFT and Smitty and us bring them into a room. We wrote like I think it was the first couple like verses of Back to School to First Date by Blink 182. We just YouTubed an instrumental, went into one of the pod rooms, the pod room at HQ2 that wasn't the radio room.
the
We
non-radio
went in
room, yeah.
there, yeah, and with the walls falling off, they looked like decrepit. Oh, yeah, it was a gross place to bring guests.
And Buddha Ben was booking you guys in fucking storage units. So if that's not the most
Yeah,
Barstool thing, I don't know. And then like the fact that then like Smitty gets replaced by Frankie, you guys are doing live shows, you guys are flying to other fucking states, doing like concerts. That's just like it's a success
and the
story.
first song was recorded in Hank's living room, and as the all of the other songs, pretty much, well, almost all of the other songs were recorded in this random like dude's kitchen that we found in like the Lower East Side, I think it was. And we would go into this guy's kitchen. There would be like a family eating dinner, and they'd be like, "Hola, cómo está?" We'd be like, "Bien." Walk into the studio, and it was like two steps up, and it was like literally falling down. It was like this wooden bin. But that's enough
Oh
about that.
my
I saw
god,
someone commented
incredible!
last week. They were like, "This is not enough about Moon Knight. I had to turn it off." I'm sorry. We're gonna get back to Moon Knight. That's this era of the podcast. Like we said last week, new season, new era. Scatterbrain, just like Moon
Scatterbrain like
Knight.
the show. The show has a
Yeah.
scatterbrain.
Back to Moon Knight, though. Layla reveals very quickly she's his wife, and they're equally confused here. It's impossible for either one of them, Layla or Steven, at this point, because she's Mark's wife, to understand what's happening or to even explain what's happening from their point of view. Neither of them really believe each other, and she gives him divorce papers. And he has a very funny line where he's like, I would never divorce you.
That was a great line.
And and right where they start to talk about this, a knock on the door comes. It's the police, or so we think it's the police, and they're detectives who arrest Steven for having the fake passport, and Layla escapes out the window with the scarab. Now, I saw a heavy spoilers video where they suggested because Layla is his wife, and while Mark seems to want to divorce her to save her, almost in a Spider-Man-esque way, like
Hmm.
it's like, no, you're in danger by knowing me. They think maybe Jake Lockley was the one that went on the date with the other person. Because why would
Oh.
Mark just blatantly cheat on his wife if the divorce papers weren't like through? It seems like he probably still loves her and just wants to save her.
Where I'm gonna have to go through now that we're 2 episodes in, maybe after the third episode. Definitely gonna have to go through the YouTubes where they start piecing together the timelines and all the different
Hmm.
scenarios and all the different people. All right, this was Mark, this was Jake, because I forgot all about that date. And I just thought he was, so okay. So I'm with you, Bob. All right, I like that.
And
Fine.
if it's not, if it's just Mark and he's just fucking around, like, kind of don't like the guy, you know?
Yeah, and that's the thing. Like, I want to like all these different characters, even though I'm sure there's going to be three very different people behind them. Finding out you have a wife, what a mind fuck. Finding you have a wife named Layla, it's pretty cool though. Like again, God, I want to make a left. All right, gradual turn. 1 minute time limit on this answer. Which Layla do you like more, the fast version or the slow version?
Slow.
Yes. Okay. I had to think for a second. And again the wait, no. You like the slow version more, the unplugged?
Yeah.
Wow. I think I like the fast version more, but it's really close. The thing is, the ending of the fast version is such a fucking,
Yeah.
like, that is such
Goes
a
off.
monster ending. But I think the first time I ever heard Layla was the unplugged version. So I kind of like that was my Layla for a while, and then I was like, wait a second, that's this. He wrote another song called Layla. It's like, no, you idiot, it's the same song, just like the original version sped up. And I always think Goodfellas when I hear it. So I'm sorry, that was our.
No, it always reminds me of Goodfellas. I like the unplugged slow versions of a lot of songs.
It's I wish more people did slower, or like if they do unplugged or any kind of acoustic, they completely change it to where it's slowed down or some other like heavy remix of it all. So I didn't mention Layla in the first episode. I didn't go into the songs, but I was thinking it for a full week, so that's why I made my turn. I'll turn us back in the moon right here. The other thing is when she calls him out on the fake accent, that must have been a real, like, how do you, our guy Bob Fox couldn't even put on a fake accent when he went out to London.
No, I can't do it. But, hello, Clem. Cheerio. Pip pip cheerio. I see you're wearing a Stephen Cohen shirt there.
Oh, thank you for noticing, Bob. I'm Irish. I don't even. I am the worst accent person in the world. I think I saw
See, like,
Troops around here
it's not
too.
easy to do.
I don't want Troops to be like, you motherfucker. What do you think you? What you doing, blood? What you doing, blood?
Oh, that's pretty good.
I
That's
have to.
pretty good.
This is how I do accents. If I try to act like someone's voice, I can do it, but I can't just do it
Yeah,
on my own. So that's just me.
fair
Um,
enough.
Hand up. Would have fallen for the fake detectives 100 times out of 100.
Oh, I didn't fall for a
No.
second. Not
God
for a
damn.
second, Clem. I said, oh, they're definitely people. They're gonna have the tattoos. I was like, look at their fucking arms. I thought he was gonna be like trying to pull up everyone's sleeves the whole episode.
That would be fun if he just starts pulling. He's gonna probably start doing that. That's a little spoiler for episode 3. I bet. I bet he
I'd
starts
be
pulling.
paranoid.
That
Yeah.
would be a good call, Bob. I've said this a million times. I always like when in cops when the guy's like, I swear to God, I've never done meth in my life, and then they open the door and it's just like meth just like falls out of the car. It's just a flood of meth. So I would have been like. I'm basically telling you, if you come to my house and are dressed like a cop and you want to do like kidnap me, I'm gonna fall for it 100 times. I'm a rule follower. I've always been a rule follower.
So they aren't detectives, as we kind of insinuated there. They are followers of Arthur Harrow. They bring him to this community, this little place run by Harrow. And Harrow realizes what's happening to Mark, or Stephen, whatever you want to call him. And he's like trying to get through to him. He's like, oh, what is he telling you right now? Break my windpipe because he doesn't want you to tell me I'm the former avatar of Khonshu. This is a big, like, oh shit moment. That makes a lot of sense. And it's a very cool dynamic for hero and villain to have. And then they have this talk about killing children that'll eventually do bad things. And if that's morally right, can you kill a 4-year-old if you know they're going to go on a murder spree at 30? And Mark is like, definitely not. It's kind of the baby Hitler conversation or baby Thanos
Yep.
conversation
Yep.
put in different wording, put in different terms. Steven
Unfair,
tells
unfair
him,
comp. Okay, can we at least say unfair comp between Thanos and Hitler? Because one of them just snapped people. Or I'm not even. I don't even say the H man's name. I apologize, Bob. Keep continuing.
yes, tough. Harrow realizes at this point that he doesn't have the scarab when he's like, I don't have the scarab. And he's like, I'm gonna have to take it from you. He starts to use the cane, which has the magic of what's the his god's name? Arit,
Aminu,
Amit,
Amin.
Arena, uh, Amio,
I
Avino.
I'm trying to think of it in the closed caption. I think it's Amin, but I'm not sure. Ammin. You?
Damn. Aloe? I don't
It's like
remember
you
what it
guys want
is.
us to talk about Moon Knight. We're gonna completely get everything wrong because we're too
What's the name
goddamn
of
wrong.
that famous girl's daughter, Apple?
Apple. Who's
Who
that? Is
did
that
that?
that's Gwyneth, right?
Gwyneth?
Yeah.
Is that Gwyneth?
And I don't.
Goop herself?
We are
Pepper
not
Potts?
we are not Gwyneth fans because she is too cool for the MCU. Oh, did I
Too
do
too
a
cool.
movie with
Oh, I don't
Spider-Man
even
Tom Holland
remember
before?
that. Yeah.
Fucking pussy candles. Like, get out of here, Gwyneth. You're not cool. No one likes you.
They smell like my orgasm. Gross. Get out
Gross.
of here, Pepper Potts.
Female orgasms aren't even real, Gwyneth. God.
Right as Harrow uses his cane magic from the god Aloe, Layla appears, says, "Put on the suit." She tells him, and Steven misinterprets it. He
Absalon.
doesn't know
Oh,
what she means. What is it?
have you ever? No. Have you ever seen? Okay. Ron's Gone Wrong. Absalon is
Oh
what he calls the
yeah,
kid. Absalon.
yeah.
Absalon. All time great kid movie for any, not even kid movie. I liked it more than my kids, and they liked it a lot. So I'm just gonna throw that recommendation out there. I'm sorry to sell it because they keep the A names. Absalon came to mind.
So Layla tells him, "Put on the suit. Put on the suit. Come on, put the suit on." And he doesn't know what that means, so he puts on a literal suit. I mean, it's described later on as a Kentucky Fried Chicken Colonel suit. It's all white. It looks really cool. He's got the Moon Knight mask on, kind of a different mask. Gets into this huge fight with the Jackal in the streets that we talked about earlier, where the Jackal is invisible to everyone but him. So it's kind of the Fight Club thing again to some people's vision, where it's beating him up. You just see a guy like, "Boo, ooh, this hurts," and then like Layla throws the water on him. You see the Jackal. They eventually defeat it when he becomes Moon Knight. He gives up his power to Moon Knight. He looks at him in the reflection. Very cool transformation moment. Every time he transforms and the wraps come around him and his eyes glow, just badass. Very cool. Very comic book esque. The Moonarangs come out of his chest. He's able to throw the Moonarangs. Harrow winds up getting the scarab after the battle's all complete. He kills a homeless guy for it, which kind of insinuates, all right, this guy's not fucking just killing the bad people that are going to eventually do something bad. No, no, no. This guy's out for blood, out for himself.
He's a
And
badass
he,
Batman. Call it what it is, Bob. A badass Batman who don't give an F. Oh, you know what? As we went through
no.
with your brother, there are versions of Batman that will kill motherfuckers, and they do
Oh, yeah.
not care.
Oh,
In
yeah, some
kids'
of them
movies.
that literally, like the Keaton Batman, will turn the Batmobile and just light someone on fire just for standing there, you know?
Did anyone ever? No one should do that on YouTube. Just do like all the times Batman kills people in horrific fashion because there were a few
There's
times.
got to be a video out. There's a lot. You could probably do a dozen. You could probably do a dozen Batman kills.
That's probably why Jeff named it the dozen. He's like, those are my favorite Batman kills of all time. Jeff's crazy like that. That's why I love him.
All right, sorry to cut off the podcast, but I got to remind everybody about America's #1 meal kit. That's HelloFresh. HelloFresh delivers pre-portioned ingredients right to your door so you get convenience without skipping out on quality. Skip the trip to the grocery store and don't waste money on excess food. All of this stuff is pre-portioned, as I mentioned, so you're going to use everything they give you. It's amazing. It's even easy enough for someone like me to make. HelloFresh offers 50 different weekly options and in all different varieties. So you could get a healthy option, a family style option, a vegetarian option, whatever fits you. I've got a bit of a weird stomach. They've even got meals that work out for me. Saves you time, saves you money. It makes cooking fast and easy. That is, of course, why it's America's #1 meal kit. And I've got a great deal for all of the listeners. Go to HelloFresh.com/16Robbie right now. Use the promo code 16Robbie when you get there. That is 16ROBBIE. And you'll get up to 16 free meals and 3 free gifts. It's an amazing deal. It's an exclusive to our listeners. That is HelloFresh.com/16Robbie and use the promo code 16Robbie you'll get up to 16 free meals and 3 free gifts. Now let's get back into the show. Mark traps Steven in the mirror realm, if you even want to call it that. He's in the mirror literally, and then he kind of shatters the mirror. And then he has this talk with Khonshu where we find out that Khonshu is threatening Mark to do all of his duties and carry out his justice by saying, if you don't do this, my next person is going to be your wife, Layla. My next avatar will be your wife. He doesn't outright say it, but he's like, someone that will be very close to you, and it's a she. Wink, wink. I would wink if I wasn't all bones, you know? And then Khonshu says like, or I think Mark says to Steven, like, where are we going? Where do you think? One of them says that line, and it's of course Egypt. That is where we are going for episode 3. That's where he wakes up. It's a cool transition shot where like you see Steven in the mirror, like wake up, and he's like, oh fuck, we're in fucking Egypt. I think this is setting up for something awesome.
So when he went to Egypt, I was like, oh, he went to Egypt. And I'm like, I hope it's Egypt. Again, outing myself as an idiot here. I'm like, someone's going to tell me like, oh no, the pyramids you see, they're not in Egypt. And I was like, God damn it. So we're saying Egypt right now, right? I'm not
It's
like,
gotta be. Yeah.
I get in trouble for saying this, but a lot of Bills fans always point out how they should be the New Jersey Giants because they play in New Jersey. And I said, well, if we're going to go by, letter of the law or letter of your post office, you're technically the Orchard Park Bills because that's where your stadium is, and they never like that. And I love the Bills. I hate saying it. I'm sorry I said it on the podcast, but it had to be said there. So we're saying Egypt. What pyramids are those? Do we know the name of those pyramids?
The Giza.
Okay. They are the Giza. Okay, they are the Giza pyramids. Okay, again,
I think.
There's nothing worse than when your second grader does "Are you smarter than a second grader?" and she just kicks your ass and all the stuff. So she could probably tell me that. Should be asking her. Can we just say this? Agree. I think we could agree on this. Steven's a bitch. I've had enough of his shit already. He's such a goddamn Bob. All right.
I like right
do you
now.
Like him,
I
or
like
do you think
Steven
he's a
more
bitch?
than Mark.
Do you like him, or do you think he's a bitch? Because I think he's a bitch.
I like him.
You like him? I don't like him.
I like him more than Mark.
I need some aggression. Maybe that's why I like Khonshu. So again, I like Khonshu more than all these fucking guys.
He's like, I'm a gift shop clerk. I don't know what I'm doing.
Oh, Mr. Clem, here, take your kids. I'll sell them sugar, and then I'm gonna, and like,
would you like a jelly?
Yep.
And a new ancient Egypt sphinx and a pharaoh?
35 pounds. How the fuck is that 35 pounds, Mark? You're robbing me blind. He's a robber. He's like, that's all the cash from the hardworking parents like me, and he's just robbing us at the gift store.
You guys, little fishy. Hello, mom. Hello, mom. Me and my fish are doing well here.
I know what you're doing, Robbie. You're speaking in a British accent to make him seem more likable, and it's a good idea. And I can't do it right now because I'm trying to think of how he talks, and that's the only way I can do it. And Mark is always speaking so aggressive. I can't. He's like, Mark, just give me control of the body.
Poe Dameron voice, Yeah. He's like, come on, let's do this. We can fight for the rebellion. Mark should remind you of The Last Jedi.
Yeah, I was going to say, you're trying to turn me on Mark here by throwing out like the movie that ruined Star Wars.
Did you see I threw up a tweet earlier, and we could get into this. We're done recapping Moon Knight. So if you're here for the Moon Knight discussion, that was your Moon Knight discussion. Now, let's talk about this tweet I had earlier where James Gunn called Rogue One the most underrated anything in Star Wars. And Lights Camera Barstool brilliantly quote tweeted it and said, okay, what's the most underrated anything in Star Wars in your opinion? And I wrote the sequel trilogy, Ducks. And then I just muted the conversation, haven't even looked at the notifications.
You know what? There was a time where I really cherished throwing out Last Jedi slander and then just hitting the mute button. It's one of the best things you can do. Is the mute button. Mute button is a very important thing, and it's done a lot of good. But that, like, to be able to troll and then mute is
that Twitter's like smoke pellet?
Yeah, it's pretty much.
It's like the Dave Chappelle like knocks over the water and runs away.
The only thing is, if your DMs are open, you'll have like people like wishing death upon you and whatever.
Yeah.
Prequel Stan, aka Prequel Fran, we've outed Fran as being the person behind it.
Yep.
Told me, so DeGrom got hurt, and he tweeted at me twice, this is what you get for calling out Natalie Portman for the Portman curse. And the first time I said, Stan, not right now. And then, excuse me, she did it again. Fran did it again. I'm like, Fran, what the fuck? Like, the second time I didn't even say anything. I was so fucking, like, overwhelmed. I couldn't even fight back. So, I hope...
You put the Portman curse out there. You unveiled the Portman curse, and the prequel Fran fucking cooked up a little DeGrom curse.
I put it on myself, apparently. And it's like, well, let me tell you a little thing about the Portman curse. The Mets curse has been around a lot longer than the Portman curse, and it's a lot stronger than the Portman curse because that's basically the life we live. Another
thing I wanted to mention. Oh, go ahead.
No, no, no. I had this note from the episode. Uh, when I heard that he's like when he's like, oh yeah, help yourself to free food. I'm like, can you imagine just rolling in somewhere and they're just like free food? That was incredible. And then he goes, help yourself to the lentil soup. There is no food less appetizing on just name alone than lentil soup. I don't know what a lentil is to this day, and I don't
I
care
don't
to
really
know.
either.
I think it's a
No.
bean. It just like lentil just
Ugh.
sounds like either flavorless or it sounds like gross flavor,
Yeah.
like whatever that is. I just hated it so much. It made me so upset. And Ethan Hawke being Conchu's ex-girlfriend, I think is hilarious. Like that, there's a lot of awkwardness. I imagine, like I hope it gets to the point where Mark and Ethan Hawke are like looking at each other the way like a girl's current boyfriend and ex-boyfriend look at each
Yeah.
other at a party. It's like, all right, there's gonna be no problems, but if shit goes down, I'm coming for your fucking throat. And the child murder question was a great question because it's like
Yeah.
it. I never for 1 second was on the side of the guys with the tattoos. I was never on Ethan Hawke's side. But when they were pro child murder, I was like, that's an easy way to say, like, if you're with these guys, you're probably not. And listen, this is someone that loves the Anakin memes. You tweeted out one the other day about Anakin killing the younglings. I love it. I absolutely think it's great. But like, that's if you throw out the child murder question, you're basically saying those guys are the bad guys, not the heels. Like the what do they call like Tony Soprano and Stone Cold Steve Austin? They're like the
Chaotic, that kind of thing, the
no,
chaotic neutral thing.
it's like the heel. Oh,
The tweener?
no, not the tweener. The anti-hero. Like these
Oh,
guys aren't
anti-hero. Yeah,
anti-heroes.
yeah, yeah.
These guys are child murderers, pro-child
Yeah.
murderers. And even again, we're not going to get into the H-man and the big purple man, but that kind of thing just kind of lets you know right off the bat. So, and I love the fancy Moon Knight suit. I thought that was awesome. I think I said that's going to be my favorite. I said before it was going to be my favorite Moon Knight suit. The legit Moon Knight suit is so fucking sick.
Yeah.
But I saw a lot of people were upset that they kind of brought it up as a joke. They said this one's supposed to be like a cool suit, and the way they brought it up, they thought it was kind of a joke. I think it'll,
Oh, no. It can become a cool suit still.
yeah, I think just the first time it showed up in that sense where it just happened to be that way. But I do think it'll be better. But I saw
So
that,
very MCU-esque, I thought. That was one of the moments where I was like, that's MCU humor, which I know
yeah,
some people sometimes it's too much at times. I like it. I'm kind of always down with MCU humor because I'm also the guy thinking about, and I'm sure you're the same way with your kids. I'm thinking about my nephew and niece watch this, and I'm like, yeah, they'll probably like that kind of stuff, those jokes.
yeah. And he took the sticks out of his bag. He's like, "What the heck are these?" But
That was a
again,
good line too. Yeah,
they
I think he calls them poles. He's like, what are these little poles?
what are these little posts? I don't like that they are like teasing us. They're like edging us with these reveals of the real Moon Knight suit at the end. And I
I
guess
know, right at the end.
and it's like, are we just not gonna get like 20 minutes of Moon Knight at a time? And because he's almost
No, we'll get him.
it's like he's pound for pound, he's like the greatest superhero I've ever seen. He's kicked the shit out of two guys twice, but every time it's like a fire drill. It's like the guys have like a full running start at him. He has no idea what's going on, and then just boom, 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 dead. The guys are a pile of sand at his feet. It's incredible to me. So good start by Moon Knight. And again, when his eyes, you see like Oscar Isaac, you can still see him as like human form, and his eyes start glowing, and then it wraps around him. Grade A shit. I love that stuff. So again, I dig Moon Knight, but I got to see more of actual Moon Knight here, as well as any other knights they want to throw at me, because I dug the suit Moon Knight as well.
It's like Ronda Rousey when she was starting in the UFC and every fight was like 14 seconds. And people were like, oh my God,
Yeah.
she's the greatest. But like we didn't get to see a lot of her actual fighting.
There it is. The Moon Knight is the Ronda Rousey of the MCU, or I guess the whatever year that was Ronda Rousey. Because there's Ronda Rousey now means a billion different things, I imagine by now, in the
Yeah.
fight world, obviously WWE world, pop culture world. But that Ronda Rousey was like, even idiots like me who don't follow MMA were like, oh shit, she's awesome. So, no, Molly the Meatball. Moon
Yeah,
Knight
yeah,
is the
the
Molly
best,
the
yeah.
Meatball. That's how we start promoting our own here. I had to shout this question out, or this question I got from our guy Nick. He said, I matched with a girl on Hinge that had the scale tattoo on her forearm. I immediately unmatched after watching Moon Knight. Was that the right call?
Yeah, that was a sign.
A
And
thousand
listen, I
percent.
don't judge for tattoos either. I got a light say I got dumb tattoos, crazy tattoos, silly tattoos. I don't judge, but I do worry, you know?
Yeah.
You see a certain tattoo, you're like, not for me.
And if by some chance it's like, strict fiction is stranger than real life or whatever the saying is, like, what if this Moon Knight arc is real and she is a member of this cult? You don't want a part of that.
Don't take a chance.
I don't want a part of anyone who thinks they can just put justice on their sleeve. You know what I mean?
Mm-mm.
So I
She's
think
probably just a lawyer.
she's probably make you. You would have never had to work another day in your life. She would have
Yeah.
loved you and cared for you, Nick. But that 1%
A hot
chance,
tatted lawyer. You
yeah,
missed out.
you missed out, dude. But she's sus, and you cannot marry sus. We know that. So that I think that was the right call. You might have also made like the worst call of your life, Nick. But again, once you see that in Moon Knight, you'd always think about that too. And then she's like, "Oh, I would have loved for you to see the life we would have built together." And then your soul is sucked out of your body, and you're dead, Nick. So right call, confirmed from the two basement boys.
Yeah. There was one thing non-Moon Knight related I wanted to mention on this episode, and that is Lego Star Wars The Skywalker Saga. It's finally out. We've been waiting literally years for this. It got delayed and delayed and delayed. I have played through all of episode one, The Phantom Menace. That's all I've played through as of this recording right now. And man, Clem, I think it's living up to all the hype and some. I don't know if you've gotten a chance to play it yet. It looks gorgeous. It plays gorgeously. The open world stuff is crazy. I made it through all of episode one. I think I'm like on the meter, like 2% of the way through the game. So the open world stuff seems to be where the majority of the playtime is going to be. It's crazy. It really is. And some people were getting on me saying, "Oh, come on, you're the release order guy. How are you not playing in release order?" For me, that is release order because Lego Star Wars,
Right.
the first game had episode one, two, and three. Lego Star Wars 2 had the original trilogy. And then they came out with Lego Star Wars The Force Awakens. We didn't ever get Last Jedi or Rise of Skywalker content till now. This is release order for me.
That's so I haven't played it yet. I've heard great things. I saw you and MRags are like saying it's awesome. I also didn't realize like the hype that it had around. I thought it was going to be now. Does it play like the other Lego games, or has it like improved in terms of? It always seemed like Lego games are a puzzle game along with an open sandbox game. Is it still like that?
So, interestingly enough, the puzzles are more in the open sandbox
Okay.
world, and the straight on levels are easier, I think, actually. Like, it took me probably like 2 hours to get through episode one, and it probably could have taken me about 90 minutes. I did a lot of running around and just being like, I cannot believe how big every single planet is. And there's different locations on different planets. So there's the entire Gungan city in Naboo underwater. There's the entire like beautiful Naboo city. There's the outside grassy part of Naboo. I mean, just the most expansive stuff you could imagine. Going to Tatooine, going to Mos Espa. Oh my God, every building you could go into. It's like the biggest, most awesome galaxy you could ever ask for in a Star Wars game. So I can't wait to just keep playing through the open world stuff. I think I'm basically going to beat all the movies, all the levels or whatever, and that'll probably take me, a week or two, and then I'll go through and really dig into the open world stuff afterwards.
Okay, because that's the thing with the Lego games is when I would play, I played mostly the event, or I guess it's just Marvel in general, and the levels, it's a lot of puzzles and stuff like that. And sometimes I just want to play video games and turn my brain off. So then I would just stay. I do the outside part of it, but I was like, God damn it, I want to keep advancing this game. So I would almost, I think, prefer it the way you're saying. So I haven't checked it out
Very
yet.
easy to advance. Yeah.
This is the tough part for me. And again, that Fran, I don't care what you say. That DeGrom stuff was wrong. It was not right. I hated the prequels. I hated 2/3 of the sequels. There's more movies in this game that I didn't like than I did like. No, Sith wasn't as good as I remember. So that this is going to kill the podcast right now. Bob's going to just like hang up on me. But the thing is, 4, 5, 6 is going to be so fucking. Now, what's the price point here? Are we talking this is just a normal game price, like
It's
60
full
bucks?
game.
So
Yeah.
that's not bad though. Like I feel like I'm getting 3 games for the price of one. As crazy as that sounds. So I kind of think it
Oh,
works.
you're getting like 10 games for the price. It's legit. I cannot tell you how big the open world stuff is. It's like buying Grand Theft Auto 5. Remember buying that and being like the map, oh my God, I can't believe how big this map is. It's like that on steroids.
Yeah,
And
Bob.
there's Mandalorian DLC. You can get the Razor Crest, you get
Oh, now
Mando,
we're
you get
talking.
Baby Yoda. They got the Solo a Star Wars Story DLC, which you could do whatever you want with that. They got the Clone Trooper Pack DLC. I think there's so much stuff. There's rumors that they'll add on Mandalorian episodes as DLC, which would be brilliant. I want to take down the Crate Dragon and Lego Star Wars. I also want to, when I beat the game, go into free play and then do all the side missions as Mando, and then it'll basically be Lego Mandalorian, the video game, because he does side missions.
There's only two things I want to do with a game that is, DLC that is not from the any trilogy. One, just be Vader from Rogue Squadron and just
Rogue One.
annihilate Rogue One. I'm getting my Star Wars games mixed up. And then two, just be Boba and just sit in that back to tank for hours and just let me just like I'll just sit as Boba and then I can just watch of replays of all the games I had already played and just be like, all right, no, that was
So
my entire
funny you
thing.
said that. I was so like nodding along when you said play as Boba because in the original two games, my favorite characters to play as were Boba and Jango because they had the jetpacks.
Mm.
So it was so much easier. You could fly to the places you couldn't get to as other characters. You could fly up, shoot people from above. And I was like, yeah, play as Boba. And then he said back the tank, just lie in the back tank.
I hate to say it, Bob. If I say Boba Fett to you, what do you think of? What does he look like?
What does he look like?
Yeah.
Just Boba.
What does that mean? Describe to me what he
Like
looks like.
I think of him in like the Return of the Jedi getup,
I
not
think
like
of
the
him
new one
as I
really.
think of him as the bald guy. I think I'm looking like my
Oh,
dumb
really?
face. Yeah, that's who Boba Fett has become to
Don't
me.
say that dumb face. Come on, it's Tamora Morrison. He's a legend.
I pointed at my feet. I thought you were going to say, "Don't call yourself a dumb face." You said, "Don't call tomorrow." What is this, Bob? I was calling myself dumb.
I
Bob,
thought you said I see
he's
that
he.
dumb face.
That's true. I was pointing to myself, so you didn't. He's the meme where he's on the speeder and he's doing like
You
see
like
me
a
rolling.
bantha?
Yeah, like they've ruined the name Boba Fett. I didn't even think that was even possible. They ruined the name Boba Fett. That's such a bummer, dude.
No, I don't think they ruined it for. I look back on the Book of Boba Fett fondly.
Do you
Yeah, oh yeah, big time.
really?
I kind of look, but when I look back on it, I don't think of like the mod gang or whatever. I think back on like the cool moments. I think back on him beating the people up in Tashi Station, him coming down with the fucking Slave One, annihilating fools, him coming up on the Rancor, like those, and all the Mando stuff was come on, awesome.
Well, that's the thing is I think of like back to tank. I think of a lot of desert stuff. I think of the kids, Spy
The
Kids.
desert stuff is what I think of too, which this is a teaser that won't pay off for a while, but I'm going to do an ad deal soon. And I like pitched basically like the lizard scene as one of the scenes in my ad deal. It won't have a lizard going up my nose, but the idea of like going out to the desert and coming back a different person might be in one of my videos taken from Book of Boba Fett.
Little teaser for the kids out there.
Yeah.
I like it. I like it. But like the Mando thing is almost a book of Mando to me. I do separate them, which isn't fair, I
Yeah.
guess. But it felt like they needed to put. I honestly, if you had told me that they had the book of Boba Fett, it was 6 episodes, and they're like, all right, we got to take stuff from Mando season 3 and just shove it in here and kind of make it make sense. I believe, but that's just me. I don't want to like upset prequel Stan or Boba Fett Stan, and then like have like
I'm gonna start
Pete
an
Alonso
account
get killed
SW
tomorrow.
sequel stand.
Yeah,
And it's going
exactly.
to be all about the sequel trilogy. One other thing that they have to add to Lego Star Wars, they only have like the Mandalorian season one in it, and it's like him in season one. You got to add season two just so I have the dark saber as him, or
Mm.
you could add Book of Boba Fett edition. We want to be able to chop fools up with the dark saber in Lego.
And we need to see Billy video game appear in our life. Bill Burr,
Yeah,
just like he could just be like a talking character, but just to hear Bill Burr's voice would be awesome to see. Actually,
there's a lot of funny voice acting in this game too. Like there's a lot of funny little jokes, references to the trilogy. I think someone posted a video of Rey in episode 9 when she's like channeling all the Jedi and like all the voices come through. Anakin just says, I don't like sand. And then Mace Windu's like, this isn't the time for this.
that's
And
good. That's
stuff like
good.
that. I think when Anakin goes up to like a Tuscan village, people are like, oh yeah, like the men live there and also the women and the children too. Like funny stuff like that.
That's good. That'll make me appreciate it more. Where you're embracing either the craziness that happens or like maybe some of the cringy stuff. Like one of my favorite parts about Into the Spider-Verse is how they're like, yeah, we don't talk about that when he's like the goth version of Spidey.
Yeah.
Or even I love that they admit that like the Spider-Man ice pops always looked like shit. They always look. And by the way, a little breaking news to anyone who doesn't have kids or hasn't had one lately. They fixed it. We got AJ a Spider-Man ice pop the other day. It was pristine. It was like laser engraved. It was the best looking Spider-Man. You would have thought it was his actual mask.
Wow.
So they've done a great job improving the Spider-Man pop. So people tuned in for Moon Knight. They got some breaking news about the Spider-Man ice pops. It made me just so happy to see that our future generation gets to eat a nice looking Spidey. So I'm thinking about getting the game. The only problem is I think I'm gonna get really mad when I'm in episodes 1 and 2 and episodes 8 and 9. I could live with 3. I can live with 7. But I do think 1, 2, 8, 9, I almost have to like and you could just play them like I don't have to play 1 to go into 2 to go into 3, or do I have to?
You do.
Shit. Maybe I'll have the kids do that. And
You'll have fun. You'll have fun with it. You and Sienna co-op, yeah.
And if they're making a couple fun jokes here, it's like, oh, here he goes talking
A
about
lot
sand
of fun
again.
jokes, yeah.
Like that'll get me back into it. And being able to play a game, a Star Wars trilogy game, and it's like you're just like, oh, we're going back to Hoth again, and we have to rope up the AT-ATs. Like that was always the thing you had to do. It was the same beat in every single Star Wars game, at least when I was growing up. I think they got a lot different by the time you were older because they had more movies to deal with. I also wanted to bring this up on the pod. Did you see the trailer for the Guardians ride in Epcot?
No.
So they have a little quick 30-second teaser or so, and it has a good song. I can't remember what song it has on it, but it's like typical James Gunn old school rock. But they don't have. It's clearly not Bradley Cooper for Rocket, which you can expect. And I'm pretty sure then like Quill doesn't say anything in the thing, so I'm guessing they don't have what's his name as well. So those are like if you're not using the voices here, you're Disney. This is
It's a little rough, yeah.
ride.
I mean, they're on set right now. You can't have them record like something on an iPhone, a voice memo.
Right? Chris Pratt, like it's like you have to have Pratt, you have to have Cooper. Like
You have to pay him for X amount of years. Is that some kind of thing?
You made your bed, and this is in Epcot. Epcot is the boringest of the Disney parks. You have to do the right thing.
It used to be Tower of Terror, I think. I think the ride. I think they tore down Tower of Terror.
But no, that was in Hollywood though. Hollywood Studios was Tower of Terror.
But what did they tear down? They tore down like an iconic ride to put this up.
Yeah, but this is. I think there's gonna be two Guardians rides. Is that what it is? I think there was one in. I don't know, but they're making a new one in Epcot.
Cosmic Rewind. It's called.
Yes, Cosmic Rewind. This one's something else about going back.
Oh yeah, because I guess they're about to announce a bunch of like Disney things. D23 is going down on May 15th. It looks like. Or at least people will be able to buy a preview of the Cosmic Rewind on May 15th. So we're gonna probably hear a lot more about that in the future. And Star Wars Celebration coming up, Comic-Con. It's gonna be like a packed summer for announcements.
The basement's gonna have a lot. We already have enough content to cover in terms of just the shows and the movies, right? So be covering all that stuff. And this is the other thing that I didn't like about it. And this is interesting. I don't know where you stand on it. If you for a theme park ride, which Groot do you want?
Which Groot?
Old Groot, baby Groot.
Oh no, I
teenage
think
Groot.
for a second I went to which group, and I was like, is that like on a line thing? I would want a baby Groot. I'm a baby Groot guy. It might be a chalk pick, a basic bitch pick, but come on, baby Groot. I would go baby Groot, teenage Groot, old Groot, and I love old Groot. We are Groot, but just like I don't know, the cuter Groot is, the better.
And I'm 100% with you. Love the old Groot. He had his moment though, right? I think we've buried that Groot. So they have old Groot at least in it. I think it has something to do with time. So maybe they go back in time and he becomes younger, which would be adorable. But like also Disney, and this is why I think there will be a baby Groot, because they know once you go through that ride and everyone has a ball, you're going to go into the gift shop where Steven will be gouging you with prices 150% what they should be in the gift store. And that's what's going to happen is they're going to have a little baby Groot doll. I'm going to be spending $37 on that doll. I can get it for $8 on Amazon. And I'm going to be like, God damn it. And then I'm going to be walking around Disney just in the goddamn heat, bankrupt, dead broke because of all the stuff in the gift shop. So, Fuck Steven. Mark is the best.
I have a hashtag for us, I think.
Okay, let's hear it.
What about gift shop hero?
I like that. Hashtag
Moon Knight,
gift shop
he's a
hero.
gift shop hero.
If you made it
You
all the
made
way
it
to
to the end of the episode, tweet us hashtag gift shop hero. Tweet it, but like an American. Don't tweet like SHOPPE. That's too many characters. We're just going shop like a normal shop, you know? It's not shoppy.
If you okay, actually, I'll expand that a little further. However, if you are across the pond, if you're in another
If
country,
you're across the pond.
I want it PPE. I want to know
Exactly.
where our people live, and I want you to say you are my favorite podcast, and I want it to be VOURITE. I want you to embrace all the weird European stuff. I was running 35 kilometers today and listening to you guys.
Tell us what the temperature is in Celsius, all that.
Exactly.
Give it all to us and give us that like below. Please subscribe if you haven't already.
Keep the basement lights on.
Closing in on 20,000 right now. I think we're at 17 something. So try to get us up to 18 at least by, let's say, by next week. 18 would be great.
I can see into Erica's office from here, and she just looked at me and did the slit throat sign. I think she's telling us she's killing the basement. So you guys have to do it. We got 20,000.
It says we only have 5 seconds left on the podcast. You got to like it, guys. All right, we'll see you next week.